Little girl to millionaire, don't get in your Mustang, your fiancé cut the brakes. He calls 911. Rain poured down like the sky itself was breaking. In a small town outside of Nashville, a trembling little girl named Lily sat alone on the stoop of a rundown gas station, hugging a torn stuffed bear. Her jeans were soaked, her shoes were too small, and the bruise on her cheek whispered a story she couldn't yet tell. Strangers passed, too busy or uncomfortable to ask, until one woman stopped. Her name was Grace. Mid-30s, leather jacket, sharp eyes softened by a kind smile. She knelt, umbrella shielding them both. "Hey sweetie. Where's your mom and dad?" Lily didn't answer, just clutched her bear tighter. Grace's heart squeezed. She had grown up in shelters, bounced between homes that wanted the paycheck more than the child. She knew this look, hungry, scared, silent. One phone call later, Grace brought Lily home, just for the night. That night turned into a week. Then school enrollment. Then a drawer of her own socks. Then a bedroom. Over time, Lily smiled. Laughed. Sang. Her drawings covered the fridge. She called Grace, Mom. And Grace, who'd never wanted children before, realized she'd been waiting for Lily her whole life. Years passed. Lily, full of fire and kindness, grew into a young woman with big dreams and a heart too wide for her chest. She started a business at 16, handmade jewelry with proceeds going to shelters for girls like her. By 22, she was a self-made millionaire. Not flashy, she lived modestly, gave generously, and visited shelters every weekend. But all stories, even beautiful ones, have shadows. Lily met Mark at a charity gala. He was charming, rich, and adored her. Within a year, they were engaged. Everyone said they looked perfect together. But Grace had a feeling, a quiet voice that tightened her chest. Mark was always just a little too controlling. A little too interested in Lily's money. He'd flash smiles, but Grace caught the cold behind his eyes. 1 week before the wedding, Lily got a text from an anonymous number. "Don't get in your Mustang." He cut the brakes. Her heart pounded. It had to be a joke, someone messing with her. But something in her gut screamed otherwise. She showed Grace. They stared at the phone, fear thick in the air. Grace didn't hesitate. She called 911. The officers arrived, took the car into custody, and ran an inspection. The brakes had been tampered with. Precision cuts. It wasn't an accident. Mark was arrested that night, red-faced and furious. As the truth unfolded, he'd taken out a massive life insurance policy on Lily weeks before the wedding. He had planned it all. The proposal. The praise. The poisoned smile. If she'd driven to her bridal fitting like he suggested, she'd be dead. Lily collapsed in Grace's arms, not because she was weak, but because betrayal can shatter even the strongest hearts. She sobbed not for herself, but for every time she thought love meant safety. But in that brokenness, something deeper awakened. She realized the strength she had carried all her life hadn't come from protection, but from surviving. From grace. From kindness. From choosing, over and over, to build instead of break. The story hit the news like wildfire. Fiancé attempts murder of young philanthropist. People around the country watched in awe as Lily, instead of retreating into silence, stood on courthouse steps days later and said, "Kindness saved me. Grace saved me. I won't let fear win." In the weeks that followed, she launched Project Safe Start, a nonprofit aimed at helping young women escape abusive relationships, start businesses, and reclaim their lives. The donations poured in. Celebrities reached out. Survivors found hope in her voice. But the most powerful moment came in private. A young girl, no older than Lily had once been, sat trembling on the steps of a different gas station, a worn bear in her arms. The world passed her by. But this time, someone stopped. Lily knelt beside her, umbrella shielding them both. "Hey sweetie. Where's your mom and dad?" And the circle continued. This story isn't about money, or betrayal, or even survival. It's about the extraordinary power of small kindnesses. Grace didn't know that giving a scared girl a place to sleep would one day change thousands of lives. Lily didn't know that choosing to trust again would spark a movement. But that's the magic of humanity. We rise by lifting others. We heal by helping. And sometimes, the most broken among us become the ones who mend the world. So the next time you see someone hurting, stop. Ask. Listen. That small act of compassion may just change everything. Because you never know when the little girl on the steps might become the millionaire who saves a generation.